Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. Today, we have yet another very special guest on the show. This guy has been killing it for almost a decade now. Former King of the Dot chain holder, the Kingpen of New England, CHILLA Jones. What's good, man?
What's good, man? What's going on, bro?
Thank you very much for taking the time to come on, man. I'm a giant fan of yourself, so I appreciate your time. But jumping straight into it, man, I mean, how was it that you got into battle rap and how did you get started with it personally?
Um, I've always been a fan of rap in general. That started a long time ago. Pre-teens. Listening to Jay-Z and Nas and Cannabis and certain people. Where it kind of transformed into battle rap was when I got hip to Smack DVDs, and so T-Rex versus Young Miles and Murder Mook versus Loaded Lux and some of the other Murder Mook battles that happened also really kind of made me fall in love with the culture. From there I got into like Grind Time and like all those battles that used to happen on World Star Hip Hop. That used to come out on World Star Hip Hop. This is probably like 2007, 2008, 2009-ish. And from there, honestly, man, I never really had much of an interest to be a battle rapper. It wasn't something that I consciously planned. It wasn't a path that I was focused on from the outset. It really became to be because I was in the studio and I was basically getting called out by another local rapper on the radio. And so, eventually I did a battle with this guy. I won the battle. It was judged. I won unanimously. I had actually just started a battle league in Boston called the Shark Tank. And so I was throwing battle events. And after I had won this battle, one of the guys that I used to promote and that was a part of my league then decided he wanted to turn around and challenge me also. So then I had to battle him, and that battle, both of these battles are on YouTube. If you really want to go back and look at my early stuff, it's if you look up CHILLA Jones versus Gatman Jones, that happened somewhere, I think 2010, 2011. And that was more of like I didn't write for that battle. That was like one of those battles where you just show up and rap and whoever runs out of material, runs out of rounds, loses. So it was kind of one of those battles. And then the other battle, CHILLA Jones versus Interstate Flames, that's the battle that URL and King of the Dot and a lot of these leagues, saw and decided, they wanted me to be a part of what they were doing. So after that battle is when I got called for the Proving Grounds. It's when King of the Dot reached out to me and they actually put me on World Domination 2 just off the strength of that footage, even though the battle didn't end up happening. That's the battle that kind of set me on a path to be doing battle rap and to be more involved in battle rap. And then, 9 years later, here we are,
Nice, man. And yeah, so the oldest battle that I've seen of yours is the Interstate Flames one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was going to ask about Shark Tank battles because so you were heavily involved in putting the events together then.
Yes, absolutely. I was the owner of Shark Tank Battlegrounds. Me and then my partner was DJ 213, who is also still a partner with me on many other business endeavors. But yeah, that was our league that we started, and and again, this is like 2009, 2010. Like nowadays, if you're in the culture, that like having a battle rap league is very common, very, very common. There are so many different leagues and so many different people involved. But this was literally at a time, before, within a year of King of the Dot and URL existing, I was
Sure.
doing the same thing. You know what I mean? And although I ended up becoming a battler, like I said, that was never really my path. But yes, I was definitely, the one behind Shark Tank Battlegrounds and those events. And so, again, the only local battle I ever did, the only, the one battle that it took for me to get to URL and King of the Dot was that battle on Shark Tank Battlegrounds, the Interstate Flames one.
It's amazing, man. And I mean, it's a very, very strong kind of first written battle as well. So it's not surprising that you got the calls from the big leagues very quickly after that point. But
Thank you.
was it surreal at the time, kind of just going from battling a local rapper that's called you out on the radio to getting calls to the URL and King of the Dot, or were they kind of not as big at that point?
Well, it was a couple of things, man. One is that they weren't as big at that point. But the second part, man, really, like, I really didn't have an interest. You know what I mean? And so, imagine for a rapper, right? Imagine for a rapper who makes music to be approached by Def Jam, and for Def Jam to say, we want to sign you to a deal. It'd be probably the biggest thing in the world. It'd be the most amazing thing ever. But okay. So imagine you go up to a chef and you tell a chef, "I'm from Def Jam. I want to sign you to a record contract." He's gonna say, "I'm all set. What the fuck for?" You know what I'm saying? Because to him, it doesn't matter to him. It's not a part of what he's trying to do. It's not a part of what he sees as his path. So for him, it doesn't matter. And that's what this was to me, because I didn't have the aspiration to be a battle rapper. So although URL was reaching out to me and King of the Dot was reaching out to me, I wasn't like, wow, I can't believe, this is happening. I really was like, I'm all set, man. I make music and I run a battle league. I'm not a battle rapper, is what I kept telling them. I told them that for about 3 months. I'm not a battle rapper. I'm not a battle rapper. I'm all set. I literally turned them down. And the only reason why I accepted the King of the Dot battle on World Domination 2 was because of Slain. Slain, who I don't know if everybody's familiar with Slain. Slain is a rapper from Massachusetts. He's been all over the world. If you're familiar with like La Coca Nostra, and more recently has turned into an incredible actor. But
Sure.
he was in the studio with me and he was like, "Yo, I saw that battle that you did. When is your next one?" And I said, "Man," I said, I explained to him the story just like I explained to you guys. I told him, that was kind of a one-off thing. Like, I'm not, it's not something I'm planning on doing. And he said, he was like, he said, "You'd be a fucking idiot to not continue this lane." He said, "I've never seen so many people from our city engaged in this, in that side of hip hop, that being battle rap." He was like, you should consider trying to take it forward." And so what happened was Slain was touring in Canada at the time that King of the Dot was doing World Domination 2. They had reached out to him and I think Mad Child and a couple of other people to be judges for some of the battles for World Domination 2. Slain agreed to do it under the condition that they would put me on the card.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that was how I was on World Domination 2 with just one piece of footage and a cosign from Slain. But at the time, I didn't appreciate it, man. Like I just didn't. It didn't. Looking at it now in 2020, you look back and you look at URL and King of the Dot, and you look at everything I've accomplished, and you would think that like this was something that I dreamed of since a little boy. It really just was like a, you know, I guess I'll do another battle and see what happens. And then I do that battle, and then, okay, I'll do another battle and see. And then it just kept, pushing me forward, pushing my brand. It was helping me to get my name out there. And then I understood what Slane was saying, why I would be an idiot if I didn't pursue it, because it was bringing me and the city a lot of, attention and focus that, at the time we weren't getting a lot for music. As many great musicians as we have, and rappers and things like that, we haven't always been in any type of spotlight in regards to hip hop outside of, like, New Edition or Edo G and Benzino and certain other people. Um, so yeah, man. But at the time it was like, whatever. Like I didn't I didn't care. So that's kind of makes it even crazier, where my trajectory has led me, and how I got to where I am now.
Definitely, yeah. I didn't expect that in the slightest, to be honest, especially
Yeah,
because there's not really much of a break in between your battles either. So
yeah,
you've been kind of consistently battling at least a few times a year ever since the original battle on Shark Tank. So it's
yeah.
interesting to hear, and very cool that you got an early kind of co-sign from Slane as well. That's huge.
Huge. I mean, well, Slane and I have. I've known Slane. It's probably going on 15 years. And it's just entirely through music and the local scene that we have here. And I first got hip to Slane way back in the day. I'm talking high school. My first year out of high school, I dropped out. I got a full-time job. It was a kid that I worked with. When he found out that I rapped, he said, do you know who Slane is? I said, no, I never heard him. So the next day, he brings in, I think it was called The White Man is the Devil, the project. Uh, Brings the mixtape in, and he's like, yeah, this is my favorite, rapper from the local scene. And I wasn't really hip to the local scene. I wasn't really up or familiar, and so Slane was kind of the first exposure I had to the local Boston hip hop scene in terms of rap. So after I heard that, that became kind of like the bar. This is a known local Boston rapper. This is somebody that's been grinding. This is somebody that's been doing all the right things to make this kid bring me his album as a representation of what the scene is. You know what I mean? And so then a couple of years, it just so happened that I think we ended up on a show together, chopped it up, did a bunch more shows together. Then we started doing some music. And even bigger than that, man, he's just been a huge inspiration, a huge motivation for me, even to this day. We chop it up every now and then and just catch up on things. And he's gone through his personal struggles. I've gone through mine, and we've kind of supported each other through all of that, man. Like, he's really been an excellent, incredible, type of mentor for me, as far as learning and, not only skill wise, but also, the way he's transitioned from that to, working with Ben Affleck and being in, like, Gone Baby Gone and The Town and a lot of these movies. Like his story is incredible. So yeah, to get that cosign from him, and for him to be in a position to help me and actually do that, I didn't understand how rare and how special that was until I really got older. And you don't see that a lot. I definitely don't see that a lot. Not in battle rap or even on the music side. You don't see a lot of older cats being willing to reach back and school the younger ones, or do things for them that they didn't have anybody to do for them coming up. So the fact that Slane was willing to do that, man, was super dope, very special.
Definitely, yeah, I completely agree, man. It's a rare way well, not into battle rap as a whole as such, but it's a rare way
Right.
to get you to continue with it, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really cool story, man. And I mean, from that point onwards, obviously you were on a bit of a tear with the URL, like the Cash Eating battle, the M City battle, and then the JC battle, which personally is one of my all-time favorite battles. Like, in terms of yourself, like if you had to pick one battle that kind of stands out as your favorite to have been a part of, what would it be for you?
That is a really good question. Favorite battle to have been a part of. I, I don't know that I can narrow it down to one, but I can give you some, and I can tell you why. Um, Obviously the so let's start with the Cash Eaton one. The Cash Eaton one was special to me because, um, a big theme in my life has been redemption. It's been me, going through certain struggles or failures and then being able to make up for it somehow, whether I have to work harder, whether I have to, whatever lengths I have to go to. So, quick story behind the Cash Eaton battle. I had a PG battle a month before against a dude named Strange from upstate New York, Buffalo. And although I won the battle, it wasn't a great battle. It was one of those battles where both guys are kind of boring. One is less boring, which was which was me, so I won. However, it wasn't a battle that if the battle would have come out, it wouldn't have made you excited to see another Chilla battle. I was set up to redeem myself to do another battle a month later against a kid named Super Rider. He's from Atlanta. He was, as far as my class went, and my URL class was Danger Zone, Big K, Ill Will, a bunch of other people. Um, the whole thing about it was Super Rider backed out of the battle. It was 10 days before the battle. And he called, he said, I can't do it. I'm getting called back to the Army. He was in the Army. I'm going, I'm getting deployed, whatever it was. He could no longer do the battle. Cash Eaton was set up with somebody else. Their opponent backed out, within a day or two of my opponent. And so, they said, there's only 10 days left. We still want to have you guys on the card because people are looking forward to seeing you. Would you guys just do a one-rounder? Just so you guys can rap for the people. We still want you on the card. So we had agreed to do a one-rounder. And it was supposed to be like one round, unlimited, 4 or 5 minutes, whatever. We go to the event. The battles run long. We don't get a chance to battle. We were the headlining. We were the main event. And we didn't get a chance to battle. We got kicked out of the venue before we could, and they didn't want to do it in the street. They said, if you both are willing to stay and battle tomorrow, we'll put you on the card with the main day battles. Now, this was the card with, DNA versus Tech Nine, Rich Dollars versus Tay Rock, B Magic versus Real Deal, Clean Paper versus Bill Collector. This was a main card. This was a regular, URL and actual card. They said, we'll let you guys open up the card if you guys are willing to stay till tomorrow. So it literally went from me having a terrible showing versus Strange in my first PG to my opponent backing out to getting a new battle within 10 days that I had to write for, to being able to showcase my skills in front of an actual URL crowd.
Crazy.
And so for that battle to turn out the way that it did, huge. That partly makes that one of my favorite performances. The JC battle obviously is what it is. I don't think I need to give a huge backstory on why that is one of my, favorite battles that I've been a part of. The Daylight battle was really fun to be a part of. One, because Method Man was there, and I think that was a little bit surreal for me, being such a fan of his. The other reason was I didn't know what Daylight was going to show up, man. At that time, there were a few different Daylights that you could get. You could get the Daylight that dressed up in the Batman suit and didn't rap. You could get the Daylight that took all of his clothes off. Like you just had no idea what you were in for. It was you could not predict Daylight at that time. The fact that he respected my pen and my skill enough to decide he's not going to do an antic, he's not going to do a gimmick, and to bring 3 incredibly written rounds, I took that as a huge sign of respect. That made that one of my more favorite performances. As far as something more recent, my battle with Iron Solomon was really dope to me. I was originally scheduled to battle Averb, which a lot of people don't know, but I was scheduled to battle Averb on that blackout for King of the Dot, Black Mass, whatever it was called. Averb backed out the minute he landed the battle with Murder Mook. Okay. And so it was, at the time, it was looking like I wouldn't even be on the card, because we were literally like, maybe 3.5 weeks away from the event, and they had already announced me. And so, it was kind of a tough thing for us to figure out what we're going to do. Who are we going to be able to get? This is Chilla, who's a title contender. He's battling at home. He's going to, co-headline, if not headline. We need to get him a matchup that makes sense. So we reached out to a few different people, and, Iron decided that, that was a battle he was interested in doing, even though I was at home, even though we had limited time to prep. And I think that battle is a super slept on, borderline classic battle. That was a lot of fun for me, because I'm such a fan of Iron and his writing. And if you'll remember, when I told you when I started watching battle rap, Iron was right there, battling Math on Smack DVD and battling Ness at Grizzlemania 2. So that moment of, being able to stand across from him now, 8 years later, and, going round for round with him in front of my city, it was epic, 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 epic. Lastly, the title matches, man. Real Deal is one of my favorite people in the world. In real life, he and I are very close. So I think it's a little bittersweet that we're having to destroy each other in our rounds for the entertainment of the people. When if I were battling anybody else, he'd be right behind me, and vice versa. But being able to battle him 3 times and truly test our skill and our creativity, and to have every one of those battles be special for a different reason. When it's all said and done, chain aside, accolades aside, accomplishments aside, my trilogy with Real Deal might be my absolute proudest moment. Although I didn't come out on the winning end at the end of it, it still might be my favorite, proudest moment of my career.
I can see that, man. And I mean, it's a testament to the pair of you as well, because it's difficult enough to have to rematch somebody once, but to have to do it twice, and both of which be for a title, is that I don't think there's anything really as difficult as that that's ever come up through, especially through King of the Dot anyway. Like, it was every battle was really impressive to see, and huge Real Deal fan as well. So like, just getting to see you both battle was good enough for me. But it's a very good list, man. Like, you've been involved in some incredible battles, to be fair, and you've had quite a lot of opportunities to travel now. Like, you've battled
Mm-hmm.
all over the map pretty much. But what kind of stands out as your favorite trip that you've had due to battle rap?
Manchester.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For a few different reasons, man. I got to be over there with some of my favorite people. Real Deal, Mad Flex, is an absolute gem. He's just another great human being who does so much. He goes through his struggles, and you would never know, because he carries himself with such class, effortlessly. Red Flag, newer talent, stand-up guy. Um, it just, and then some of my favorite people in the world are also from the UK. Shoddy, I love Shoddy like a brother. Frankie Fraser, one of my favorite people in the world. So all of that combined with the fact that I literally, very literally, man, went there for nothing. I did not ask for payment. The event was falling apart in the public eye, and there was a lot of negativity and a lot of controversy. And I just hit up Shadi and was like, "Yo, like, the UK has always treated me like a son. I'm just a kid from Dorchester, Massachusetts. And every time I've gone to, whether it's London or Leeds or anywhere, everyone's been nice to me. Everyone's treated me like family. If my name's on the flyer, tickets get bought and sold, we sell out. So much love I've always felt. So to see that the event was falling apart, I just hit up Shadi and I said, yo, whatever you need, I'm there. Just get me there and I'll do the rest. So to be able to, at least try and pay back England for everything that I feel like has been given to me, was incredible. So dope for me. I had such a great time in Manchester, with both, the battlers I was with, and also just with the people, being able to talk to people, and shake hands and take pictures. I always have a blast with them there. It's one of my absolute favorite places in the world, man. But that was probably my favorite trip. The only trip that rivals it for me is Brisbane, Australia. But they were both incredible experiences for different reasons.
Sure. And I mean, on behalf of all of the UK fans, like, you have no idea how much everybody appreciated what all of you guys did for that event. It was horrible to see what Premier Battles were going through in terms of the event falling apart at the time. And
Yeah.
all five of you ended up turning up. Well, obviously A-Ward unfortunately didn't get to battle, but all 5 of you turned up. You were professional about the entire thing, and you all put on a show, man. And it was amazing to see. Like, the crowd was crazy at that event by the looks of things as well. Like, it
So
was
crazy, man. So much, with everything considered, all things considered, man. That crowd showed up, and there was so much energy and positivity and love in that building, man. It was just one of the most beautiful things I've been a part of, bro. It was epic, like on a serious level.
it's good to hear, man. I like that. And did Major surprise you at all? Were you aware of Major before the battle?
I had heard his name. I hadn't like taken the time to really like check out his battles or anything like that. Wasn't until we were set up to battle. I had watched him versus Ellis Dean. And that was kind of where I gauged where I needed to be competitive with him. But he definitely surprised me. I thought he performed way better against me than he did against Ellis Dean. For me, it was probably Major's best performance, which I think is what you would want and expect. I was so happy and glad that we went first because I really just wanted to, being the latest addition to the card, and I think we only ended up having like 2 weeks to even put the round together, 2 or 3 weeks tops. But to be the last addition to the card, to be able to go first with such an electric crowd was awesome. And Major was great. He was really, really good, man. I thought especially for our battle, I felt like his penmanship had improved. And, I would guess that was maybe a focal point for him, but it was very noticeable to me. I thought the material he came with was excellent. So, I was glad to give Major that look because I feel like he deserved it. Obviously, he's really dope. And I definitely look forward to seeing what Major does in the future. It's funny. My first battle, if you remember, was C Major, and that was I think 2014 in Leeds. And at the time, he was an up and comer that I was giving a shot to and kind of giving some exposure to. You know what I'm saying? And he did the same thing. He had a career performance against me as well. So it was just interesting, that little parallel from going from 2014 and battling, C Major, and then fast forwarding to 2019 and battling Major Concerns under, different circumstances, but also similar in a lot of ways too.
Definitely, man. Yeah, and I was over the moon to see Major get an opportunity like that as well, and it turned out to be, I think, a lot more than anybody expected, especially like you said, off 2 weeks prep. It was fantastic on both sides. But yeah, good to hear that you enjoyed your time over in the UK. Is it 6 times you've been here now?
Let's count. Let's see, we got C Major was 1. Tony D was 1. Sharon and Pedro and Soul was the same trip. That's 3.
Oh, yeah, it was. Okay, good point.
And then Major Concerns. Mystery.
Yeah.
That was chalked out. Head Ice. That's 6. I did the battle with Gemini also that trip. That was for Unilad. I feel like there's maybe one I'm missing that I'm not remembering, but it's either 6 or 7.
Nice, man. Yeah, and it's so you've done London, Manchester, and Leeds now. Then is that right?
Yes. Leeds, I think twice. I guess if we're doing it by battle, Leeds 3 times, London 3 times, and then Manchester once.
Okay, nice, man. Yeah, I think you, apart from people like DNA, I think you might have been kind of the most featured international battler over here. So that's good to see. But like,
Yeah.
in terms of yourself, though, is there anything that you've not achieved in battle rap yet, or anything that you've anywhere that you've not been through battle rap that like you really want to either do or get to before you stop battling at all?
Yes, absolutely, man. As far as like a bucket list, as far as like accomplishments, um, there's probably only one or two. You know, the biggest one for me would be to be on, you know, a URL Summer Madness card. That's uh that's probably like the last thing on my like bucket list. As far as places I'd like to go, um, there are several. So if you are in these places and have a league, please book me. uh, so I've been in talks uh, in the past about battling in Ireland. Um, Still want to get there. Uh, South Africa, still want to get there. I was scheduled to battle in New Zealand this past March, but unfortunately, because of the whole COVID and everything, you know, that trip had to be postponed. I'm thinking it will be rescheduled for early 2021, hopefully. So that's still on my list, though hopefully that will be coming off my list soon. Um, I really want to battle in either the Philippines or Russia because I'm literally going to have to learn another language to do it. But I you know, watching Disaster and um, you know, I think Disaster's ability to translate worldwide the way that he does and his how skillful he is with different languages, man, is incredible. Um, I definitely want to do something like that, or at least try. I think it would be a fun experience to go to a different country and to try to battle in that language. Um, so that's something I would definitely also be interested in for any other, you know, countries out there that I didn't name that may be able to offer that opportunity, man. I love to be on the road. I love to travel. I love to see new places. Um, you know, that to me is the real joy of being able to use my talents for my own benefit. Like even more so than the money. The traveling and the experience is you know, you can't put a price on it. It's irreplaceable.
Sure. No, I completely agree, man. And yeah, fingers crossed that New Zealand battle happens as soon as possible. They've got some rising talent over there for sure, and I don't think a league exists in South Africa any longer. However, I
Hmm.
recently had a battler named Blaine on the show. If you're aware of Blaine, um, Blaine is
I've
a
heard the
battler
name, but I'm
from,
unfamiliar.
yeah, sure. He's from Botswana, so I think he's only around about a 3 hour drive from from Johannesburg, South Africa. But he has recently taken over a league in Botswana that's going to be very active over the next year or so. So
Hmm.
yeah, I know he's also looking to book international battlers to come over too. So it's definitely worth looking into. That'd be good to see. But
Yeah, that'd be dope.
definitely, man. But yeah, that's a good list, and there really isn't too many places left for you that has like a big battle rap scene apart from that, is there? So it makes sense. But like with yourself, then, is there anybody left that's kind of on a hit list for you? Like, is there anyone that you really want to face?
You know what's interesting is the older I get and the longer that that I've done this, you know, as long as I've been in it, the idea of a hit list gets sillier and sillier to me. Because of course, so I do have people that I want to battle, right? There's Loaded Lux, there's Tay-Rock, like, yeah, there's definitely people that I would love to battle. That are, you know, if you told me you can only do 3 more battles for the rest of your life, who are they? Yeah, I can give you that list. Probably be Loaded Lux, probably be Tay-Rock, and then lastly, hard to say, maybe a rematch with JC. I think kind of would be a cool way to end it.
Okay.
But in terms of a hit list, I don't know, man. I think the bigger thing for me now is just trying to elevate myself to a level, like an undeniable level, of, you know, I just really want to get my name to a point. Like, I think it's dope, and I think it's cool that a lot of people call me a legend, or they use that word to describe me and the work that I've put in over the past decade. I think that's incredible. And I'm flattered, extremely flattered and humbled by it. Even still, I feel like there's a lot more that I can do, a lot more that I can accomplish. And I really just want to get my name to to a Mount Rushmore point would be great. And so I don't know what that path looks like. I don't know who I would battle to even get there. I could say, like, I could battle the Loaded Lux and the Tay-Rock and the JC, and, who knows if that'll put me where I want to be. Who knows if being on certain cards will put me where I want to be. Like, but the most important thing for me, even more than like being able to battle specifically the people I want, is when I am done, when it is all said and done, when I've stopped battling, when I've consciously decided this is not something that I'm going to consume myself with anymore, I want everybody to be able to say, all right, his career's over. He is by far, easily, one of the best battlers we have ever seen on Earth. And although there are people that say that, I want it to be a overwhelming majority. I need it to be obvious as it is for us to applaud Jordan or Kobe or LeBron or Brady or, Messi or Ronaldo. Like as clear as it is that we look at these guys and say he's one of the GOATs. That's where I need my name to be when I'm done. That is probably more important to me than a hit list.
Sure, that makes sense, man. And I mean, in my opinion, I think you are pretty much there already. Although I'm kind of regret saying that because I don't want you to retire anytime soon. But no, that's a fair point, man. And I mean, there really isn't too many people that you were generally considered top tier that you've got left to face either, in my opinion. So you're not far off the whole list, to be fair. But no, it's interesting, man. And like, obviously, you said you came up making music and stuff as well. There's been a few projects of yours over the years that I've heard, like the Welcome to Bosstown tape that you did, which was a free download on your Bandcamp page? Is that right?
Yeah, it was on my Bandcamp, and it was also eventually on my website.
Okay.
I launched the website a month or two after I released it. So once I got the website up, it was on free download off the website as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've still got that on like an external hard drive somewhere. I used to love that project. But have you got any plans to go back to making more music anytime soon?
Oh, definitely. I've been really active, actually, musically. I haven't put anything out, but just in terms of like getting in the studio and and that thrill of creation, man. I've been so active over the past 2 years, um, going over this project with my brother. So we have a collective known as Jones Inc. Um, and we make so much music, and the music is so eclectic. Like it doesn't reflect one particular style, one particular time, one particular genre. We make what we're inspired to make, and leave it for people to decide, how they feel about it. We don't try to fit into a certain lane or a certain mode. And I think that's really important to our identity. But you guys will start seeing some of those songs probably toward the end of this summer. We had a master plan that kind of got slowed up by this whole thing. So we're kind of readjusting as we need to. But yeah, man, you guys will definitely start hearing some music from us. I would guess by the end of the summer, maybe early fall, man. But when I tell you we have about probably 70 songs recorded,
Jeez.
we have an extensive catalog of music that we're being very picky and very selective with. We only want to give you the best of the best that we have to offer. But you guys will definitely start hearing some stuff end of summer, early fall.
Sounds dope, man. I can't wait to hear it. And yeah, I mean, my main aim from this podcast really is once I've been able to build the subscribers up a little bit, I want to start doing a weekly show promoting Battle as music more. I feel like it's massively overlooked by Battle fans a lot of the time. So any projects that you do have, please make sure you let me know, and I'll put it in the show. But yeah, looking forward to hearing more music, man. That's really good to hear. And the final battle rap related question is, it is the one that people have found the hardest to answer, generally speaking. But
yeah,
I know you've been quite heavily involved in helping put cards together with King of the Dot for kind of the GZ cards recently. So it might be slightly easier for yourself. But if you were throwing your own battle event and you had kind of unlimited funds to put the event together, what do you personally want to see on a card, and who would you book?
Oh yeah, I can give you that. So unlimited funds. Am I? How far can I go in terms of like, where's the line drawn between like industry rappers and battle rappers?
There isn't one. To be fair, quite a few
there
people have said Eminem versus Disaster and things along those lines. So you can literally book whatever you want to book.
Yeah, I mean, because my idea would be industry rappers versus battle rappers card. So if I was doing that with an unlimited budget, Disaster and M would be on there. I think maybe Rum Nitty and Cassidy would be on there. I think I would do maybe Disaster and M, Nitty and Cassidy. So let's do DNA versus King Los. Let's do Daylight versus Tekashi would be really funny, but I do not want to be the reason Tekashi makes any money. In a perfect world, Daylight versus Tekashi would be the biggest troll battle in the history of the world, but I guess I'll put that to the side. Let's say Daylight and I know it wouldn't happen. Let's say Daylight and Kendrick, though. I think that would be interesting. And then
Okay.
I think maybe like Murder Mook and Drake. I know there have been talks about that. And then I would do one or two battles that were battle rapper on battle rapper, and I would do you know what? We'll do Loaded Lux and Daylight, even though I know that that'll probably happen in actuality. We'll do Loaded Lux and Daylight, and then the last battle we'll add on at the end would be do a Hollow versus Joe Budden rematch.
Okay. I like it, man.
That's what we'll say. But the entire theme would just be industry versus battle rappers. I'm sure there are better matchups out there. If I had more time, I probably could think of some better ones. But I think that's a decent enough card, I guess.
Definitely. No, I like that, man. And yeah, in terms of what I was saying before, like you're helping with setting up some of the GZ cards and stuff. I've had quite a few people that are involved in the New England battle rap scene on the show now as well, and quite a few people have shouted you out. So it's clear to see that you're doing some good work over there. Like CJA couldn't speak highly enough of you. Memo was the same a few days back too. So yeah, it's good to see somebody putting on for the kind of up and comers in that sense as well, man. So it's very much appreciated.
You got to, man, and that's kind of part of what we spoke about earlier in regards to slaying. Like it's I don't think it's common enough. Like I'm not sure that if you go to other cities where battle rap maybe has a presence, I don't know that the the top tier or the upper echelon of battlers in that city are doing their part to kind of reach back and build that bridge and put that next generation into into position to succeed. CJA is actually from upstate New York, but when it comes down to putting on consistently great performances for New England battle leagues, there may not be a better person to represent us. You know what I mean? And so he's really, really dope, tons of potential, super humble outside of the ring. And that's the biggest thing with me, man, is like how you carry yourself outside of battling, how you move in between your battles. That's a huge factor for me on, who I reach out to and how I reach out to them and how much effort I extend to help. There are some people who may be more talented than CJA or maybe more talented than Memo. But when I tell you these two guys are the nicest, most humble, genuine people in the scene, that's exactly what they are. So, those are people who, in my opinion, and deserve every bit of love, every bit of support that they can get, because there are people out here that have an awful crabs in a bucket mentality. They think if they're not getting certain opportunities or if they're not receiving a certain spotlight, that nobody else is deserving and that nobody else is worthy of it. So, those two especially, man, they're just great guys. And I'm speaking, beyond battle rap at this point. They're just really, really great guys. So it's been my pleasure to know them, to help them, to try to put them in position to be more successful and get further in this culture.
Definitely, man. Yeah, and it's I couldn't agree more. They both, I had a great chat with both of them. They both seem great fun, and they're both extremely talented too. So it's good to see them getting a push, and it's very much appreciated for yourself. But the final three questions. Well, there's 6 questions left. They're all pretty much quick fire questions, and 3 are music
Yeah.
related, and then 3 are just completely random at the end. But
Okay.
if you
Yeah,
had
I
to
got
pick
time, man. Let's do it.
if you had to pick your all-time 3 favorite albums off the top of your head, what would you go with?
Jay-Z Blueprint, 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying, Eminem Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay, I like it. Very quick there as well. But I think this is the 89th episode that I've recorded now, and
Dope.
that's the first time the Blueprint's been mentioned. So it's good to get
Is
some
it
new answers.
really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
89 episodes and nobody else mentioned the Blueprint?
I don't think anybody's mentioned Jay-Z at all.
That's really interesting, man.
It's crazy. Like,
That's really interesting.
yeah, another thing that I've noticed a lot, I posted a status on Facebook yesterday to get some more answers, but the most popular album that's come up so far is Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which,
Really?
as good as that album is, I think it's mental that it's the most mentioned.
For me, that's not even a top 3 Kanye album.
Yeah, I'm with you.
For
It's
me,
definitely not my favorite.
yeah, that definitely not my favorite. If I were ranking the Kanye albums, that would, it would probably be 4th, maybe 3rd, but um, that's really surprising. Honestly, that's really surprising.
Definitely. Yeah, agreed. But yeah, and like, who would you say personally is the best live act that you've ever seen in terms of like shows that you've attended?
Yeah. Really good question. Um, I saw Eminem a couple of times. He's really good live. Uh, Method Man is really good live. Uh, I think the best that I've seen live is Lupe Fiasco. Um, and for me, it's just he doesn't miss a syllable. And when you think about how some of his cadences, some of his flows, even some of his lyrics, for a lot of people can be tongue twisting. Um, he literally does not miss a syllable. Um, he's high energy from start to finish. Um, I've seen Lupe, I think, 3 times live. Um, and if you told me I could only see one person for the rest of my life, it'd be Lupe. Um, Absolutely incredible live performance.
Nice, man. Yeah, I've not seen him myself, so I'm quite jealous there. But yeah, he's been mentioned once or twice before as well, so he's
Yeah,
definitely
he's great.
recognised as a good live performer. But the final music related question is there any musicians or artists that you're personally a big fan of right now that myself or the listeners might not be aware of?
Might not be aware. That's good. There's a couple. Millie's. I don't know if people there are familiar with, but Millie's is actually from Massachusetts. Um, Making some really, really good music right now. Trying to think of a good way to describe him. I would say that he's definitely got like a mm, see. I don't want to put him in any type of a box, but his name is Millie's. If you check out his music, he has a couple of recent joints that are dope. He has a couple songs with Jadakiss, Dave East, um, that are really, really dope. He was actually on Jadakiss's most recent album.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not aware of
so
him.
yeah, so he's really dope. Check that out. Uh, Bia. I don't know if you guys have heard of Via over there. But she had the song with Russ, Best on Earth. Um, and has a song out right now called Cover Girl. She's just starting to kind of get a little bit of momentum and get some popularity in the U.S. So I'm just not sure if her name is kind of crossed overseas yet. She is absolutely incredible. She's got co-signs from Rihanna and tons of other people who co-sign her talent. She is also from Massachusetts. She's like a little sister to me. I've known her literally half my life. So she's really dope also. Give me one more. I'm gonna say Token, who's also from here. Token gets compared to your Eminems or whatever you want to call it. He's in that class of like high energy, rapid fire flow, incredible lyricism. Um, he's from here also, from Massachusetts. Um, and he's probably one of the best pure rappers out there. I'll give you one more, which is Russell, formerly D Pride from Canada, from Toronto. Um, super super dope, man. I don't know how OVO hasn't snatched this kid up, but his whole vibe, his whole aura, uh, like he's seriously ready for bigger things. Um, but he's dope too. I did some work with him, really really long time ago back in the day. I used to be a pretty big YouTube influencer, artist, whatever you want to call it, doing like freestyle contests and freestyle videos and stuff like that. Such as D Pride, Russell, who I'm talking about, such as Timothy De La Ghetto, Traffic, who's also on Wildin' Out. A lot of us, kind of came up together. But over the years, D Pride, Russell has evolved into something incredible, man. So if you guys aren't familiar with him, definitely check him out too. I believe his Instagram is Russell is Lovely.
Okay.
Going off memory, but he's fire, man. If you have a few minutes to check him out also.
Yeah, I mean, I've not heard of him either. The only person there that I've heard of is Token. And I actually pretty much by mistake got to see Token live last year. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to London for the weekend it was for a battle rap event actually, and then the battle rap event finished at 6 o'clock, and a friend in London that I was staying with had tickets to go and see Token that night, so I went with him, having not heard of him, and was quite impressed. So
yeah,
yeah,
he's dope, man. Super dope.
yeah, very good. But nice, man. And then the final three questions, they are completely random. But are you
Perfect. Let's go.
a big sports fan, and do you have favorite sports teams?
All my favorite sports teams are hometown teams. So that's Boston Red Sox as far as baseball, New England Patriots if you're talking American football, Bruins if you're talking hockey, and then Celtics, Boston Celtics if you're talking basketball.
Nice, nice, man. And which sport do you kind of follow the most then?
I would say it's probably a mix between basketball and football. Definitely a big fan of both. I will say it'd probably be basketball. I try to go to a Celtics game at least once a month.
Right.
And I follow them pretty close, and I have some relationships with some NBA guys. None in Boston, but some on other teams. So sometimes those teams will come to town, and I'll go to the game to kind of check out the Celtics, obviously, but also to support some of my homies in the league. So Um, but yeah, I would say I probably follow basketball the most, the Celtics, but I'd say the Patriots is probably not too far behind, man. So bummed to see Tom Brady leave, but
Yeah, I can imagine,
that's
man.
that's life, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like football's never been super accessible over here, so I'm a new fan, but I've recently in the last like year and a half or so become like a really big fan of the sport.
Yeah.
It's now so we have the NFL show on mainstream TV over here, so on like BBC One.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so like a 2 hour show giving all the highlights of that week's games and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, become a big fan. I'm a Chicago Bears fan myself, but
Awesome. That's not.
yeah,
It's you can't go wrong, man. Bears is a very classic team, man, and they just have a reputation for having a really good defense. They're always built around a good defense and a good running game usually. Um, but yeah, they're one of those teams, man. The Bears, the Packers, the Cowboys. They're just classic teams. Like you can't. It's hard not to easy not to like the Cowboys.
oh
But it's hard
definitely,
hard not to like any. The other teams are usually pretty dope.
yeah, no, agreed, man. But the next one is if you could pick anywhere in the world for your next kind of trip abroad or your next holiday, where would be top of your list?
Top of the list. It's a good question, man. I take two different kinds of trips. I take some trips literally to relax and de-stress. Um, and then sometimes I take trips to, explore and experience stuff. So if I'm taking like a relaxed trip for me to just de-stress, not look at my phone for 4 days, I would love to go to Jamaica.
Mm,
I think that would be ideal. If I'm going to, someplace where might want to like check out the landmarks or explore the city a little bit and get out in the scene, I really want to go to Amsterdam, man.
okay,
I
yeah,
really want to go to Amsterdam. I've heard a lot of good things, heard a lot of fun things. Um, Amsterdam would be really high on that list. I think also Paris would probably be on that list too.
okay, nice, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amsterdam is one of my favorite places in the world personally. So I definitely
Is it really?
recommend it. Yeah, it's incredible.
Dope.
Also,
Dope.
you can get a direct train from London to Amsterdam that only takes, I think it's 3.5 hours. So
Wow.
it's much easier than having to spend loads of time at the airport and then flying over and whatnot. It gets you straight into the centre of Amsterdam. So definitely worth looking into the next time you're over in London. But
Yeah, that's totally worth a day trip, or even if you just spend a night there, man. I think that definitely might be something I look into for my next trip. Hopefully, I can't wait to get back out there, man. It's just all the event craziness. I just don't know when that's going to be, but I hope it's soon. I miss the England entirely, so I hope to get back over there soon.
definitely, yeah, and would love to have you back, man. But the final question, and this one has brought up a mixture of good and terrible answers so far, to be fair, but you can pick one sweet and one savoury, but what are the go-to munches in your opinion?
One sweet and one savory. Huh. Man, it's gonna be tougher to pick the savory one. I think for the sweet, um, there's a few. So like, I really like. There's so many to choose from, man. You put me on the spot. This is probably the toughest question you've asked me all day. Uh, so I'm gonna say, uh, I love cinnamon rolls. Warm cinnamon rolls are incredible.
Good shout.
I love, uh, man, Krispy Kreme donuts. So good. Um, but honestly, like sometimes I just want a really good grilled cheese, man. Like I'm not tough to uh I'm not tough to please, man. A really good grilled cheese is a great munchie. PB and J, peanut butter and jelly, great munchie. Um, yeah, there's a lot of different things. Um,
No, I
Apple
like it, man.
crisp, so good. What are yours? Does anybody put you on the spot?
No, they haven't actually. I'd have to say, savoury wise, it'd have to be some kind of bagel, I think.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
or like salted pretzels or something like that.
That's
Um,
yeah. Pretzels are really good.
and then sweet, I'd probably have to say sour Skittles.
Sour is good. I love Sour Patch Kids, so I see that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good
See that
shout.
for sure.
I'm not sure about those Sour Patch Kids cookies that I've seen come out over in the States, like, but
Cookies?
yeah, they've made some cookies that have like instead of like chocolate chip or anything like that, they've got Sour Patch Kids in them. I'm not sure about that.
Man, that sounds absolutely terrible.
Yeah, not good. But yeah, but no. Apart from that, they were very good answers. To be fair, man. And was there anything that you wanted to kind of promote or plug on the show at all?
Um, just my socials, man. Follow me on Instagram, Chilla Jones, Twitter, same Chilla Jones. Facebook is facebook.com/Chilla Jones official, and of course for all things Chilla Jones, www.chillajones.com. Latest battles, latest news on performances and music. Also, new line of merch we're launching this summer also. So tune into the website, chillajones.com. Stay tuned for more.
Definitely, nice man. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, man. It's been really fun, and yeah, fingers crossed we get to see you in the UK again some point soon.
Hopefully soon, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you, man. You take care over there anyway. Stay safe.
You as well. Thank you, bro.